Steelchair. What's up, everybody? How is everybody doing? In fact, better question. Are you guys even good? That's the real question. But let me hear it from you. How is everyone doing? Because we got a lot to get through. Give or take. It's the energy. It's the willingness. Is there any... Salute to you too, my brother. But all things, how is everyone in the chat? We got 2 bottles. We got Dynamite. We got the weekly Steelchair. We've got Bully Ray being a bitch. Again. We also have quite a good Dynamite to review if you look at it. It was actually a good watch. It seemed like they have a different plan. Yes, I do actually. It's been a while since I reviewed something like that, so I absolutely need to do that. You're 100% spot on. Which I think is a bit harsh that I haven't in quite a while, so I absolutely will. So I thank you for the reminder. I certainly should do more of that, because I love Japanese wrestling, I love Mexican wrestling. More so than most American views on it. The true enjoyment of the sport comes from there. Actually, what we'll do, let's get some fire emojis for Japan and Mexico. Because I think they deserve the love. Do you think Wagner Jr.'s son is the real deal? I think he has the potential in the world, yes. I just hope. I just hope he doesn't directly copy his dad, because then I think he'll have lost his identity. I think that's really key. But yeah, I think he's the real deal. Like, there's not many younger generations right now that I am hyped about. He's one of them. Like, I can see it in him. Like, I can see the potential. There's certainly... There's certainly a vibe about him that I like. I think there's a good vibe, and I think we're going to see that. And lo and behold, I want more of that. I want to see more generational families get into the business and just redefine themselves. And I'm all in. Hmm. Yeah, it's true. He has more to it. I think the only thing is those Penta would still, at the moment, run circles around them, but the length of time would get better. You know? But yeah, I think he's got all the potential in the world. I think he's got the capability to produce a great career. Maybe not better than his dad's, but he has the ability to produce a great career. And I look forward to seeing what happens. I think, in contrast, like Wagner, the Mexican side, I think the I would say the American one is probably um, Brock Steiner or whatever he's called nowadays. Do you like Leo Rush's Joker? Like I do actually. I think it's dynamic. I think it's what he's been lacking for a long time. I think it's better than what he was doing in New Japan. Personally, I think the problem with New Japan is he had the gimmick and he wasn't able to really get it over. I think that's the problem is they couldn't really get it over in the way he wanted. But he's done it this way, and I like the twist. It just got to work. Dynamite was great last night. It was actually. I really liked it. I think Dynamite was solid. I think they're going strong for Australia, and all the while I'm all impressed. And I do have a very important take as well from Dynamite tonight, so we're going to certainly get into that, especially because we're it's such a beautiful, a, well, I was going to say a beautiful state, but no, um, it was a beautiful city within the state. I mean, I think Austin is a brilliant city. It's on my bucket list to go. I think they made the right choice. The crowd was excellent. I think they were good throughout the whole night. I think the show made sense. For the better part, I think there may be one or two things um, that maybe didn't hit the mark, but at least 95% of the show actually hit. There's just a 5% mark that really struggled. I like the variety of the talent from the women. I like that so many women got an opportunity this evening. If you actually look at it, six in total, including five that were main talents. I think that was excellent. You kick off the show with a championship match. You conclude the show match wise. Your first match and your main event matches are both tag team titles, both trios and just tag team. You're continuing a strong story for your main event angle. I like this. I think my only fear, and I think you have to be honest, I think the only fear is, will that momentum last? Now, I'm not wishing this on any company before. I don't wish it on AEW at all. I don't wish it on TNA. I don't wish it on WWE. I don't wish it on New Japan. Also, shout out to my guy Hiroki Goto, winning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Zack Sabre Jr. at the weekend. Well, not really the weekend, but like a couple of days ago. Goto's first title defense will be the 50th anniversary of the Tokyo Dome, 53rd anniversary show, sorry, against Hiroshi Tanahashi, who was champion when Goto first challenged for the title 16 years ago. He's not had much of a luck since, but he's finally succeeded. So I'm really proud of him, and obviously shout out to my guy ELP. He's still champion. Yota Tsuji retained the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship as well, in a very exciting matchup against my dude Gabe Kidd. Across the board, New Japan is redeveloping again, so it's nice to see. Obviously tonight, your televised in-ring action, it's either TNA or Ring of Honor, or both if you're not an absolute clown. Me, I'll be watching both, because I'll be reviewing both tomorrow. And I'm pumped to see what happens there. There's been some major changes in TNA. There's a new president of the company. Producers have come and gone. They've all moved on. So that's something I'm going to discuss tomorrow. Ring of Honor is looking better than for tomorrow's show than it did last week. Last week was a disgrace. But when I look at Dynamite in general, Dynamite excelled expectations last night. It's still going to get the stupid ratings discourse, or it's still going to get the cheap comments by morons like Eric Bischoff and etc. etc. and David LaGreca, who doesn't understand pro wrestling. But in general, I like the show, and I look forward to reviewing it tonight. And Fernando, I agree with you, spot on. Rusty, you're spot on as well. I think it made him do both. Thank you. I appreciate this a lot. I appreciate it. I'm going to be honest though, what I'm saying about what hit and what didn't hit last night. So, what didn't hit was, I'm expecting this because it's gearing up for Australia, but I'm very surprised that we didn't get the likes of Mercedes or Osprey or Kenny Omega last night, even a Takeshita appearance. I'm surprised. I don't think that hits well, but it's a positive as well because it lets other talent shine. And last night we got to see talent shine exponentially. Another positive, another show without Orange Cassidy. Get your fire emojis for no Orange Cassidy in the chat, guys. We had two women's matches. We had, if my math is right, opening segment. Well, not the opening segment, one segment, two matches, post-match segment, main event. At least 6 or 7 segments of the show involved a woman, and they were all correct. They were all delivered properly. And for the first time in a long time, the trios division looks good. I'm not an advocate for a trios title, but if you're going to have a division, it needs to make sense. I actually think the trios division now looks stable, and they can develop it. Now, here's a negative though. And I'm a big Adam Cole fan, so this is going to hurt to say, but Adam Cole needs to do an AJ Styles. He's still a great wrestler, but my God, he needs to bulk. Like, this is not an attack on a person's physical shape. This is, if he wants to be seriously treated like someone who wants to be in the main event and be a world champion again, he will have to bulk up. It's a reality where he will get passed over if he doesn't, and it's a shame because he is excellent on the mic and in the ring. We did actually. Yeah, we did have a really fun trios match. I think the only thing though, if Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Ruby Soho's partner, if they want to be a trio and compete for the title, then Daniel Garcia needs to drop the TNT title. I don't think he should be holding both. If the aim is for him to be in a trio, he needs to drop it to someone who's going to compete in that division. That's just my take. You can disagree with it. That's okay. It's just what I believe. I also want to say, I said I had a controversial take, and I'm going to get to it later in the show. Like, I will get to it at a specific point in the show where it really will be stand out important. So we're going to get to that. I can't take CM Punk seriously after I saw him in UFC. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. He sabotaged himself on his commentary, besides the fact that he couldn't fight a man. Besides the fact he couldn't fight a man, his controversial takes on commentary has really dampened the business, which is a lot to take in. And she's not in the chat at the minute, but she might appear randomly because she's got a weird sixth sense. But Catherine needs to praise Hangman Page from last night. Like, agenda or no agenda, like him or dislike him, she's got to. I see you have a new profile picture, sir. That's your new graphic. I missed yours last night. I'm sorry. I was absolutely exhausted, but I'll be there for Ring of Honor tonight. I'll be there for that if you're still doing it. I think they got what they needed. No, I don't. You just highlighted the matches. Alright, okay, no problem. Oh, that's awkward. I can't respect her, dude. I just can't. I've tried years ago, and to this day, she still hasn't proved me. She still hasn't proved me wrong about her. She's more. Actually, I can't even say that. But yes, she is. She's as exposed as when she opens her legs. Put it that way. I do that after Raw match. Yeah, Raw was crap this week. Plain and simple, Raw was crap. I didn't even watch it live. I gave up watching it live. I watch it back now. Can't be arsed. But Jill last night was the right show. She does try. In that way, I will give her that. She did take that knee. I think my problem is she's already been with them for 10 years, and she doesn't, like, she's never really, like, seemed to learn lessons, valuable lessons. Instead, now she just acts like a two-bit whore. Massively. Massively. But yeah, last night as well. So I was talking about Hangman. Hangman's performance last night was excellent. I really liked his involvement throughout the show. Speaking of that, we're gonna dive into this bitch. So our show begins with Matthew, aka Graps TV's favorite pro wrestler. We begin with Blaster Casterberg, the self-proclaimed best wrestler in the world. Blaster Casterberg, who has an open challenge for any competitor to come wrestle him. Now, we know where this goes. It was absolutely hilarious. The challenge was accepted by the man I've just named a minute and a half ago, Hangman Page. Hangman makes his way to the ring. I'll give Casterberg some credit here. He actually does sell the facial reactions really well off shock and fear. Like, he is genuinely scared of Hangman. He runs from him into the crowd. Now Hangman's clever. He meets him on the other side, cuts him off. Caster eventually gets through, back into the ring. The match starts. Obviously, it's traditional work here where he slides in the ring and he gets attacked by Casterberg. He just beats into the back of Hangman in the neck and the spine. Eventually, Hangman gets to his feet, gets some bit of momentum, and he just starts to beat Max Caster like he's like a dog on death row. Oh yeah, it's a Dynamite review. Yeah, reviewing Dynamite, dude. I reviewed I reviewed What's His Face the other night. Now I'm reviewing Dynamite. Yeah, Tuesdays I review Raw. Thursdays I review Dynamite. Overall praise and consensus. I thought this show was good. I thought this opening match was relevant to a storyline. It's not relevant to Max Caster in a way. Well, not statistically true. It is, but what I'm saying is like this whole opening match segment was relevant to Hangman proving that he can still do his job whilst also keeping focused. As also he is gunning for people who are not proving themselves to care about what matters most. Whereas Max Caster is he's meant to, well, he claims he's the best wrestler in the world, so it's a delusional take. But it's gone so far past delusional now that I think they've got him in the wrong place. Like, I remember a brilliant segment from 1998, and Ric Flair gets put in a mental hospital because he still thinks he can go Space Mountain, all that shit. He still thinks he's the best in the world, and he declares himself the President of the United States of America. And it was absolutely funny, and I'm thinking they should do the same Max Caster. Have him go completely insane and lock him up in a mental hospital where they have to probe him from the take that he is the best wrestler in the world when he's absolutely not. What's up, Lark Bark? How are you? How are you doing? Long story short, Max Caster gets beat with the buckshot lariat. Simple, one down, he's out for the count. It seems that the aim of this though is this delusional take is actually getting Caster regular TV time. So they're trying to see if the experiment of him being a single star works. Long story short, doesn't. If he's doing these open challenges and he's getting TV time, he's getting main event talent on TV. So he's actually doing the main event division important. The top talent for the men's side is important because they get the time. I think it also raises the question of what will happen to Anthony Bowens. I think that's the bigger question. What will happen with Anthony Bowens? I'm glad to hear it, my man. I'm glad to hear it. I finished like I finished like 2 hours ago. I'm just so glad I'm home now. Like we also, I want to give a crazy shout because this is what I praise WWE for. Ironically, when it's not too long, when they get the right length of time on these video packages, they're great. And WWE does that really well when they get it right. AEW did a very good package video for Ricochet and Swerve, and I don't know if you read between the lines. Oh yeah, 100% my dude, 100% my dude. I don't know if you read between the lines, but this video package, I think, is teasing Prince Nana betraying Swerve and joining Ricochet. Now, I'm not directly saying Swerve and Ricochet are Undertaker and Mankind. I'm getting that vibe. Where he's trying to warn him off. Like he's trying to warn him off from going after him, and eventually he's like, "Well, I've had enough. Done." I think Prince Nana is going to betray Swerve and join Ricochet, and he is going to take him further. I started watching it late, and when I tuned in, Hangman had already won. I was confused and thought maybe the show started earlier. Not. Mm, you're not wrong. It is a squash match. Let's be real, but I think that's what they're building to. If you want to ask me, if you want to ask my honest opinion, I think we're building to that, and I actually think that would be really good. Like like a new mogul embassy led by Ricochet and Prince Nana. It's like it was like back in, I hate the man, but it was a fact. There was a faction in WCW that was literally built just to destroy Hulk Hogan. It was early to midnight, well, approaching the mid 90s. Sorry, there was that faction, and it was literally just to destroy everything about Hulkamania, and it was funny. And I'm like, you could do the Mogul Embassy to destroy Swerve, the new Mogul Embassy. I think I would really, I would praise that if they did that. It would be good television, it'd be a good work, it would be a good way of going forward, and it would maybe introduce people to new talent in a different way. At least that's what I believe. If you disagree, please drop it in the chat. In a reality, that's another good example. I mean, I prefer the Taker Mankind option. That's because I just despise Roman Reigns. But this is a great example, Matt. I agree with that, and it's classy. Like it's a classic example. We then go on, and this is where Fernando's going to get really happy. Fernando's going to put in like lots of emojis, and he's going to celebrate if he's still here. But we are going to talk about that trios match. It wasn't the best match of the night for me. but it was a very, very good match. And this is what I think people will start to realize. If you look at the trios match last night, there was one thing that was not present throughout the whole match. I wonder if anyone can guess what I'm thinking. And this is a praise, by the way. That's why I'm saying this is a good thing. See if anyone can guess it. In the meantime, even though I'm wearing a few layers, I'm going to put my radiator on for 2 seconds. In a reality, this is correct. In a way, that is correct. The big praise I've got from this match, though, is there was no springboards. None of it. If you actually look at it, there was no springboards. Like, we were treated to just a wrestling match. Now, people are going to say, oh, but AEW loves the flippy shit. Or you can't get enough. But not every match has to involve diving moves. If you actually look at that whole show, there's very limited diving moves the whole night. This show was purely let's see how these guys work on the mat itself. This match was fundamentally flawless. Claudio, I agree, he stands out in a different way. I think the yeah, exactly, Stussy. Exactly. I love this pure brilliant trolling comment. Stussy, you're welcome here every single show. I think what's good about it is we got to see who the true talents are of your organization you want to build your company around. If you tweak some of these guys just a little bit, you've got six right there. One of them's been in the company since day one. Park. But he's still on a level that many can't reach. Wheeler Yuta, I think his time in the Death Riders will soon be coming to an end. I can see him getting replaced. I have a crazy idea who I think will replace him though. But I think the reality of the Undisputed Kingdom is they're still the team to beat. They're still obviously they're not the champions, but they're the team to beat. They have excellent team chemistry. They've got excellent timing, and they've got excellent match match psychology. It works really well, and their tag sequences are spot on. It's not Daniel Garcia. I think he's already locked in a team now. I actually think, weirdly enough, I think the next member of the Death Riders. I think the next member of the Death Riders is currently a champion, but not Daniel Garcia. hmm Undisputed Kingdom last night were the right winners. Like, and if you actually look at it performance-wise, they were the right winners, but I'm glad they didn't win. Because I think you have to still have the Death Riders are not in a position yet to lose those championships. But they lost. They were up against a team that, in my opinion, is still going to beat them. I think that is the reality that we're stepping into, and it's just a little taste, a little sip of what we're being handed to us. I think slowly but surely we're going to get a strong trios and tag team division, and it further helps by who was in action last night in the main event. The crowd were firmly behind Undisputed Kingdom as well, start to finish. It was really good. I think the tag sequences from the Undisputed Kingdom was fantastic. Switching is very predictable, I must admit. But you know that when Kyle O'Reilly starts a match, the first tag is going to be Roddy. Is going to be Roddy. And when Roddy does these couple minutes before he gets the backbreaker running and interference moments, we're going straight back to Kyle O'Reilly. He's going to do some sweeps. He's going to try and set up the ankle lock. It's then going to be broken out of, annoyingly, but it does. And then we go to Adam Cole, who then immediately tags in Roddy. And we get running knees, the punk kicks, the bicycle kicks, a super kick. And then we get the conclusion of the running at flying elbow and well, the running elbow and the sweep. We don't get that, obviously, for the win this time. We do get Wheeler Yuta winning the match with a low blow and a small package, which I think he may have. I think that might have been botched. If you look at the low blow, I think the actual area is botched because he's not holding that area; he's holding his stomach. Like he's holding like stomach to his chest area. I think they may have missed. I think it was just too fast on the angle, and I think that's what's caused a bit of a problem. I think that's a botch. Me personally, I think it's a botch. But it's still a good match to watch. It's a good indication that they're taking this championship seriously again because it hasn't been serious for what 7, 8 months, like far too long. Obviously, post match as well, we get a save from Matt Menard, Daniel Garcia, and Angelo Parker. They made the save, obviously, after the Death Riders attack Undisputed Kingdom in the post match. No problem. Now we come to the worst part of the show. Like, if you remember, on last week's was it last week's Dynamite or last week's Collision, I came out and said, "What is the purpose of having 3 squash matches? It doesn't make sense." I think it was Collision. You've just went from a wonderful trios tag match. Fucking hell. Ugh. You go from a great trios match with the Undisputed Kingdom and the Death Riders for your trios titles, and you walk into a trios match with Samoa Joe, Katsuyori Shibata, and Hook. And the 3 opponents were absolute rubbish 2 weeks ago on Ring of Honor. Like, first of all, though, John Cruz, he sells that muscle buster like he's been stabbed with a blade to the heart. It looks excellent. But we didn't need a squash. I think they really done a disservice. And Samoa Joe's great on the mic, but this promo was rubbish. And also, why does every team have to get a name? If we've got a problem with you, we'll see you in the ring or we'll see you in the street and we'll beat you up. We are the ops. The ops? What are you, spec op soldiers now? Are you operatives? Are you working for the army, the CIA? Are you the FBI? What is that? Now, we get one funny line when he calls Christian Cage a chicken ass. Like, that is funny. But God forbid, why? Oh, why? Have they got a name? Especially what? It makes. It's actually quite stupid. But this for me is also. I've said this before to Matthew. This is make or break time for Hook. Because he's now in another group led by two veterans. And if he doesn't get over because of this, then that's him. Like, I don't think you can get any better than this if he doesn't do it. In my personal opinion. Would you guys agree or would you disagree? And feel free if you disagree and state your reason why. But I think this is last chance saloon. For Hook. Because if he doesn't get this right, I'm giving him the hook. And I'm getting him hooked out of my company, my divisions. I'm getting rid of him. I think he's got no way back after this. If it doesn't work. That's just my honest opinion, that's my truth. It is good though that the Muscle Buster is being used as a finish again though. It was normally just Muscle Buster into the Coquina Clutch. There was times where the Muscle Buster was used as a finish years ago, but it's been more prominent as a finish recently. So I'm glad for that. We've now got it confirmed for next week as well. The Patriarchy, Cage, Sabian, and Wayne. Well, Puberty Wayne as I call him. They will take on the Ops in trios action next week on Dynamite. I think they're building for one of these teams to be a title challenger as well. Chris Jericho. Here's something you're not going to expect me to say tonight, guys, but Chris Jericho was one of the standouts of this show. Chris Jericho was actually a standout on last night's Dynamite. He hasn't been for months. Let's be real, he has been terrible for months. Last night was his best in a long time. And I can't wait for people to come at me for that statement. Like, I really can't. But well and truly, it was. And the reason it was is because we can see what is going to happen next with his gimmick. The Learning Tree gimmick is gearing up for its two toughest opponents. The segment with Bandito, brilliant. Bandito is brilliant, and last night looked phenomenal. Like, I like that showdown moment. I'm actually gonna put a clip, like an image of it. Like, there's actually one part of the showdown that I did like, so I'm actually going to put it on screen. There we go. Come on. There. They're attached. Right. I like this. Like, I really like this. The fact that we have Chris Jericho dressed like a cowboy from that era. You know what I mean? Like, he is dressed in that way. Honestly, this is how I would book the Learning Tree now. I love this. And I like that we get this spotlight. No trunks, no wrestling boots, no elbow pads, no wristbands. No stupid catchphrases that don't make sense. Just Chris Jericho, dressed like this. Cowboy boots, black leather jacket, black jeans, black cowboy hat, combating Bandito's hat, his wrestling gear, and his mask over his face, doing 10 yards, getting ready for a showdown. That is perfect stuff. Like, that is perfect. It stood out. So I am all for it. I want this to keep going. And for me, it's inevitable that Bandito is going to take the title back. I think he is the one that will beat Jericho. And he bloody should. He bloody should beat him. It would be a missed opportunity not to have Bandito beat Jericho. Now, people are going to say, what about Big Bill? Well, no. Big Bill should leave Jericho after Bandito wins the championship. It would make better sense for that. And it would allow the feud with Powerhouse Hobbs to become just Bill versus Hobbs without distractions. I like their work ethic. I like the way that they're initiating the the division. We did get a segment between Jay White and Adam Copeland. They call out the world champion for the main segment of the show after they steal the world title inside his briefcase, his new home. They steal it and they are ran away from the champion, which sets off for a very good end. We also get this. The lovely Willow. That obviously that image is not on purpose. Her shirt is falling down. It's not on purpose for me to have the strap down. But Willow is having a discussion about her return to Japan. Before we even get word of what she's going to do, she is attacked by Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir is one of 2 women on this show that I would build this company around. And we're going to get to that controversial take in just a minute. But you know how I said match of the night wasn't the trios match? If you want me to be brutally honest, if you want to see a match of the night, it's this. And I'm not joking. Because when was the last time you can truly say that MJF had one of the best matches in either on pay-per-view or a Dynamite? You can't. It has been far too long. For me, MJF versus Dustin Rhodes last night was the best match on the card. And it delivered. Exactly as I would want it to. I thought their timing together was great. The chemistry is evident. You can see that even though he's having to slander him on the mic, you can see that MJF respects the hell out of Dustin Rhodes, the way he is working for him and working to him. It's actually really well done. You can see that Dustin is happy to put him over. He's putting him over on the mic and he's putting him over in the ring. It's lovely to see the final reckoning, although it's annoying that there's 2 pinfall kickouts of it. But it's still a good match. We get the Shattered Dreams for the first time in a long time successfully. The Shattered Dreams plants MJF in his needle dick. MJF obviously does go for his Fujiwara armbar as well multiple times. He does successfully do it, but he does win with a move well renowned in Texas. Right here in Texas. He wins with a crossface. Now, it's unlikely that AEW is going to be in Texas, well, Austin specifically, for the rest of the calendar year. And you have the hometown guy lose by passing out to a submission. Great work. No talent deserves to win in front of their hometown. Not even your last match. You've got to work for it. And this match was like a nice steak dinner. It was medium rare, well done. I do have a major complaint though. can we stop kicking out of pile drivers? MJF hits the perfect stump puller pile driver, and Dustin still kicks out. Nah. If I'm the agent booking this match, I end it on the pile driver. Best match on the night, but you can still critique it. This match should have ended with a pile driver, not the kick out. At the end of the match, MJF sends the referee running. He puts the salt there, Fujiwara armbar back on Dustin, out comes Hangman, again, building for the story, Hangman Adam Page and MJF, the story's building for them. They will have a face-to-face next week. We got a brawl from them across the arena. It was really good. MJF is now going to get tested for the first time in a long time. This will be a good test. But Hangman has to win this feud. Like, he has to. Controversial take time. Ugh, I have a delusional take to read as well. Thunder Rose is a fucking idiot. But like I said, I have a take that really is important. Might not be controversial, but it's just important. This woman here . 100%. This right here is where your division goes. Like, not even kidding. He doesn't watch this show, but he should. Tony Khan, after Megan Bayne beats the living hell out of Chris Statlander, you make her world champion. Sorry, Tony Storm fans, including myself. But it's time. Realistically speaking, Megan Bayne needs to be belted quickly, and you build that division around her. Because that right there is what this division has lacked for a long time. Someone with a presence, someone with a different match formula, and someone that actually causes fear. She absolutely must become the champion. And speaking of our fair lady, Megan Bayne, she does have a squash match. She does win with the F5. First of all, that flying clothesline she does, that insane aerial presence is incredible. But this is true. We get Penelope Jugs versus Chris Statlander. Great match, great timing, great time afforded to them. Before that match, obviously Statlander does cut off Megan Bayne. The seeds planted. But not only that, not did we expect this, but we then got a plant on Statlander herself. Now, she wins the match. Penelope Ford does a great counter in this as well. She counters that German suplex into like a stunner. That stunner as well is really well done, but she gets caught and she gets brought back down. But Wednesday Night Fever, great move. Statlander's got the presence that everyone just understands. But when you've got Penelope Ford actually pushing you right now, she's in a good position herself. This division only gets stronger. But the match between Statlander and Penelope Ford is a good step up for Statlander to Megan Bayne. And I agree, she is the perfect test for Megan Bayne on a powerful level. These are by far the two most powerful women in this division. And we're going to get the reward from this. Revolution is going to give us time. This will cook. But crazy feats of strength. Just look at this feat of strength. Up on her shoulders, Statlander gets planted by Megan Bayne with an F5. It feels natural for her. Like, it feels natural to use that move. It's incredible. I rate it. I like the main way of producing a talent is through their move or their spot, and this is great. However, Thunder Rosa had this to say about Megan Bayne. Now, if this is meant to be a promo on a podcast, then she's an idiot. If it's meant to be a genuine take, then Jesus Christ. Thunder Rosa. I will zoom in a bit more for everybody. Thunder Rosa on Wednesday night's Busted Open says, I'm not a very big fan of her because you come into a new locker room and you're trying to be accommodating, you're trying to be nice, you're trying to make them feel comfortable. But when somebody feels that they're bigger, better, and maybe they look down upon you, that really bothered me. It really rubbed me the wrong way. And she's in my home state with my peeps. No one says peeps anymore. And everything, and she comes and acts that way. I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with people that have bad attitudes. Speak for yourself, woman. Of course, Rosa was less happy with the post-match attack, and she made it clear she's ready to step up and teach her a lesson, which she won't. I know where she's coming from. I've got her number. I've seen how she's, she got better when she took a little time off after her knee injury. When she went to Stardom again, I am La Mera Mera, what to do. And if you want to prove yourself into the world, you have to get through me first. And you have to win clean. Otherwise, we're going to have another conversation. So, first of all, that comes across as petty. Really, Rosa? Really? She's gonna like pin me clean in front of my peeps. It's so stupid. Oh, I know it is. I know it is. It's just so bad because it's Thunder Rosa. Like, it's not. It doesn't have a delivery. Like, her whole thing on Busted Open isn't as good as that eye contact between Statlander and Megan Bayne when she cuts her off. Like, for me, that's more symbolic. Like, you know what you're gonna get. I don't feel like I've been. I don't feel like I've been rewarded by what Thunder Rosa says. Probably because the fact that she's having a conversation with a clown like David LaGreca, but I just don't feel like it hits right where it should be. I'll tell you one thing that was absolutely incredible though. Harley Cameron oh dear Christ. Harley Cameron for the second week in a row has cooked Mercedes money. It's at the point now where Mercedes money needs to just. She needs cheat codes. Absolutely, Fernando. Busted Open is that. 100% it's crap. Mercedes Moné 2 weeks in a row has been cooked by Harley Cameron. And I actually don't think that's going to change. I actually think Harley Cameron is better than her on the mic. In the ring, no. Mercedes is superior. But in terms of shining on the mic, Harley Cameron schools her. Whether it's by talking or by rapping. Max Caster should take notes. He can't rap for shit. And Harley Cameron does it like it's simple. And I like her humble promo. There's a time when she didn't know how to do this. She didn't know when to do that. But she's like, now I can. Like, someone who believes in herself. To answer your question, Maria, should Harley Cameron win? Should Harley Cameron win the TBS title? Yes. She should beat Mercedes on Saturday. Best superhero movie you've seen in recent times? Well, obviously new Captain America comes out tomorrow. I don't think that's going to be good. But I think Harrison Ford will be good. It'll either be the third Spider-Man movie Tom Holland's third one, or the Batman. I think all round general consensus superhero movies have been on a decline for a long time. Harley Cameron is levels above the whole roster on AEW. I disagree. Unless you're saying she's levels above as in one particular part of it, then yes. If you mean the whole, like, as a whole package, then no. But if you're saying she's levels above from a promo perspective, then I would 100% say yes. Okay, you clarified yourself. You said on the mic. Alright, I'll let you off. If you said all of that, then I would have said no, not a chance. But I do agree on the mic, she is incredible. She's special on the mic. I hope so, Fernando. I hope so, but I think it'll be Fantastic Four. It's going to be between one of those two anyway. I think it'll be Fantastic Four. I think it'll be Fantastic Four though. I like DC. I prefer DC anyway, especially Batman. But I think Fantastic Four will probably be the better film, especially because Galactus actually looks properly for a change. Oh, Thunderbolts looks like pish. I'm not looking forward to Thunderbolts. I'd rather Thunderbolt up my ass by being shot by lightning. I'd rather be like bounced off by lightning and it goes everywhere across my body than that. But I don't think it's worth even making. I'm surprised they're still making it. I would cancel production right now and say sorry, we're going with something else. Why just cancel the whole film? Like, nah, we're good. No, he won't. I don't think so. Different timeline, different character. Nah, he won't be in it at all. I'm not happy with that casting as well. I'm not happy with that. So Harley Cameron cooks Mercedes Moné. But who cooks in the main event? I'll tell you who cooks. 4 incredible wrestlers. Okay. This match for me was ice cold. Like that reaction of that was cold. Like, good sense. This was great. This match alone shits all over the Raw World Tag Team title match. Yeah, I'm getting in trouble now. A very good friend of mine is watching, and I've just got in trouble for saying Thunderbolts look shit. So I'm probably gonna get moaned at very soon. The reason why I don't think Thunderbolts looks good is because I think they haven't put enough time and effort into the film. But an honest man also says you could be wrong. I could end up being wrong. I might end up liking Thunderbolts. I, however, will not like the new Captain America. I've got no interest. Sus, bro. I don't want it. I doubt I'm gonna watch it. I mean, Red Hulk is cool. I dig Red Hulk, but I still don't care about this fucking movie. The Guns were outmatched. Billy Gunn should join his sons again. The first part, yes. The second part, I'm not sure. The Guns were definitely outmatched. Like, Lashley and Benjamin are perfect for this division. None of that tribal nonsense. Oh, they're ex-WWE. They're coming just to beat AEW. No, they're not. These guys are professionals. And they put in a professional performance, and they smashed, in my opinion, the best tag team that AEW's ever produced. The whole program, it's wicked. Technical term. 9 hours of programming starting tomorrow, lol. Doing SmackDown, Vengeance, and Grand Slam Australia. Not bad. For 6 of those, I feel for you. Actually, hold on, let me scrap that. For 7. Because Grand Slam Australia is just 2 hours long. Yeah, I would say so, Fernando. I think the Guns are by far the best tag team that AEW has produced, and that includes Kenny and Hangman. And I loved their tag team run. I thought they were a great tag team, but I think the Guns were just superior. I just think they were superior, if I'm being honest. But I loved their run though. Kenny and Hangman, it was good stuff. They were better against each other than they were with each other. But those were some good days of tag team wrestling though. Shelton Benjamin, he's back to his best. He's thriving in the ring. He looks like an assassin again. Like, he looks like a hitman primed to out wrestle you, beat you within an inch of your life. I've missed this. As for Bobby Lashley, what more can you say about Bobby Lashley that hasn't been said already? The guy's a tank. The guy has an incredible tank. And he's still one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. Now, I actually think Shelton Benjamin is still better than Lashley. But this pairing is fantastic, and I'm glad that MVP brought this together. Again, it just works. You don't need more members. Just keep booking these guys to the moon. It's beautiful. Fucking loved it. And shout out to the Guns for coming back. Exactly, Fernando. They didn't know what to do with Shelton either. They didn't know what to do with him either. Post-match, we've already seen who the next contender's clearly going to be. The Death Machines, Murder Hawk, and the Machine, Brian Cage. It's plain and simple. These guys are coming for them, and they won't beat them. But there should be another tag team title main event match. Let them have it. Let them have it. The main angle of the show concludes. I think so. I think that's what they're aiming for. The main part of the show concludes with Jay White and the Rated R superstar Cope in the ring with the world title inside the infamous briefcase that it's been in for the past 4 months. Adam Copeland very specifically calls out Jon Moxley, tells him if he doesn't show up, he's going to smash the briefcase and he's going to free the world championship. To which point he pulls out Spike as Jon Moxley is at ringside. He tells him that he's a dead man walking. He accepts the title challenge of Cope for Revolution, which I already said to you guys months ago was going to happen. I told you that we were going to get Cope versus Moxley at Revolution. We're going to get the most reality spinning thing that Christian is going to walk out champion. But we also got robbed. We should have got Moxley versus Jay White in Brisbane. In my opinion, we should have had this. But I'm looking forward to the Brisbane Brawl. I just wanted that world title match. I think it would have helped. I still don't understand why the aim was to have Cope and Jay White instead of having the world title match plus Claudio versus Cope on his road to Revolution, and you have Pac and Yuta versus FTR. I don't get it. But it's conclusive. We were close whilst the brawl breaks out. A huge brawl breaks out. We nearly get the spike on from Moxley on Jay White, but Moxley eats a spear. And that promo from Mariah May might change the tide. Funny that I said it 2 shows in a row. Last week's and the week before. Remember what I said? It only takes one. It only takes one. You get one promo right. You get one promo right. You change the narrative of your booking. Mariah may have just saved her title run. I actually think she saves her title run. So if you're a Toni Storm fan, I think you're going to see her eat an L on Saturday. Gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of the timeless gimmick. I prefer the red and black gear, Toni. I don't blame you. That gear was fun. That side of Tony's more genuine, authentic. But it's the reality that we're in. Yo, what's up, Fletch? Sick, dude, sick. Rock on, brother. Yeah, I was actually going to put this as one of my highlights of the night because I was actually just going to point this up. Let me give you a hot take before my back gives out. Two things. One, Megan Bayne is going to be the AEW Women's Superstar of the Year. Well, Women's Wrestler of the Year. Ricochet and Prince Nana looks to be a thing coming at Swerve's expense. He's going to turn on him. I think MJF versus Hangman is going to be AEW's feud of the year. If they do enough of it, I think it will be. Megan Bayne is now going after the top talents despite the fact that she squashed a jobber. We can see where her projection is. Belt her up. More and more we see what's coming. And I'm all for it. Yes, I hope so. Because I absolutely would. I absolutely would. So, my friends, we are at the stage the final 15, the final quarter. I throw it over to you for question time. What have you got for me? What questions do you want to ask tonight? Let me hear you. And it can be any question. You guys know that. What is your favourite film genre and what is your favourite music? Favourite film genre is horror and horror, action and science fiction. And my favourite genre of music is metal, heavy metal, rock and roll, nu metal. The rest of them can feck off. That that one rules. That one rules. Are you going to be watching MLP when it comes on? Yes. 100%. Does time move slower than before? 5 years after the Survivor Series screwjob as the WCW invasion, Revolution 2020 ends with Mox as champion, and Mox will be champion at Revolution 2020. I think time moves for nobody. But it is mad. This is what you get. This is what you see. And this is what we are dealt with. It is mad that what ended then ends now. It's mad. Time waits for nobody. That is literally what I said. That is literally what I said. This is what I think is going to happen. I absolutely think this is going to happen. A new Mogul embassy designed to destroy Swerve. My top 5 bands are Linkin Park, Deftones, Drowning Pool, Mudvayne, and Killswitch Engage. I love all 5 of them, but they're not my favourites. But I respect that they're your favourites. I love all 5 of those. They're not my top 5 though. But they're in my top 15 to 20. 100%. Great choices. Great choices. Sweet buddy, you've good taste. I certainly love horror, action, sci-fi, especially cyberpunk films. As for me, metal works for me, alternative rock, punk, industrial, and so on. Alternative rock is quality. I stand by that. I absolutely stand by that. Alternative rock is fun. What's up, Jamie? What's happening, dude? Industrial is not a bad choice. Industrial is quite an interesting one. Cyberpunk is great. No. I don't. I firmly believe he won't. I see no purpose for it. Yeah, I think Jay White will get the pin on Moxley, yeah. I'm expecting him to. It's the only way that he doesn't get a failed reward. I think they made a mistake not giving him the title match anyway. I think it's a flop. I think the match will be good. It's a flop not to give him the title. And it's alright, brother. I think the reality is I just saw between the lines watching that promo package. It seems inevitable that that's what they're going with. You know what I mean? And I'm all for it. I think the reality is, and I think this is what doesn't help him, is after after he got buried on that promo when he said he's not here to talk, after that his whole limitation of talking appeared, and he had never got much of a promo since. Whereas in AEW he's actually been given a chance to speak more and try to improve himself and deliver. I think inadvertently Drew McIntyre ruined him, and it took him a long time to recover. I think that's happening now. So I like what I'm hearing from him. I would rather listen to Ricochet than Jey Uso. I can see the plastic bag, but I think he does dethrone him, and then I think Christian takes the title. Another 8 minutes, guys, and then we are going to get out of here. Yeah, I think so. I think either he'll insert himself into the match. Either insert himself into the match, or the minute Copeland wins, he will take it from him. TNT title match. When Christian won it and then he lost it and then he invoked the rematch clause and won it back. Triple H had Ricochet demoted to NXT to get bullied. He got bullied by Vanilla Midget and Booker T. Well, the B-Tech Booker T. And I like Trick Williams. I would say she is favourite to win the title on Saturday. If she doesn't win it, then I don't know what the long-term projection is for her. Because me personally, I would start with the build of Megan Bayne being champion. Who's leaving Judgment Day next? Dominic Mysterio. CM Punk and Bianca Belair. Shaw Guerrero is slated for the same show Mercedes, and Tony needs to pull her from that show. Going to be a shit show. Yeah, I'm not even gonna watch it. I'm not going to. I don't think it'll go well. I haven't looked at it yet, to be honest. I heard a few people have raved about it. I'll take a look at it and I'll give you a better answer tomorrow. I'll give you an answer on this question tomorrow, actually. In an ideal world, Gunther versus Cena, Cody versus Punk, and Reigns versus Rollins. For me, in an ideal world, it's Gunther versus Punk. It's Actually, hold on, scrap that. In an ideal world, it's Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov if he wasn't injured, or Gunther versus AJ Styles, and it's Cody versus Punk versus Cena, and it's Reigns versus Rollins. That for me is the ideal world. Is Cena going to break Flair's record? Probably, but he shouldn't. But it doesn't have to be a wrestling question, guys. You just can ask me anything. I'm happy to answer any question. Unless you want to keep asking me wrestling questions, then keep going. I'm alright with that. We might end up going longer if you guys have got more to ask. Tell you what, let me change this banner. We started this at 1 hour 30. Let's make it half an hour. So you've got another 17 minutes. We're going 2 hours. Is the world really a vampire, or is Billy just off? I think it's just off. I think it's just off. How much is a dozen eggs where you live in Seattle? It's almost 12 hours. Well, I don't know what it's like in America, but for here, you're looking about, I think it's £6, £6, £7, something like that. Cena needs to stop doing shoot promos. When Punk does it, he doesn't come out and say wrestling is fake, which Cena does. Spot on. Stussy, you are correct. %100%. The world is a vampire. It does leech off you, and it does take off you. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna agree. The world is really the vampire. And Samantha's cooking hoes right now. Drop them in. Unless you want to come join me and share your screen, come on in. Who will main event the Saudi show? I really don't. Respectfully, I don't care. I won't be watching. Yep, because the other one is too busy making movies. Not to put any disregard on your opinion, anything to do with the Saudi shows wise, I really don't care. But if you had to put your money on it, Gunther versus Goldberg. I want it to be either of them. I want it to be either of them. That's what I like about them. I think it'll be Penta though, and then Braun goes for the world title. Cena bringing up fake crowd noise is weird because you now have to acknowledge that the company does that, and they may have even done it for him. Yeah, exactly. He's pathetic, Cena. He is pathetic. Gunther versus Punk is money. It is. I hope this too. He actually did. He ruined my all-time favorite pro wrestler's career. But yeah, Goldberg, unfortunately, will appear at some point for Gunther. It will be his last match. I don't think he should have his own gimmick match. I think his gimmick should just be respected. So, well, actually, and his character and his livelihood. I want WWE to not do what AEW did several times with Penta, and that is don't take off his fucking mask. No problem, thanking you. Well, let me tell you something about Bill Cosby. Yeah. Favorite tag team finisher? Oh. Alright, so it's between the heart attack done by the Anvil and the Hitman, so their heart attack. The Dudley death drop, even though I hate Bubba Ray Dudley. The deadly device by the Road Warriors. And in WWE call it the skull and bones, but in AEW it's just called the figure splash. That the figure splash that the Motorcycle Machine Guns do. I think it's between those four. They're my top four, but my favorite is the heart attack. What's your favorite promo of all time? I'll actually see if you guys can guess it when I bring it on screen. Can you guys figure out which promo this is? I mean, this is a good one. There's so many promos that I like. The Rock's promo on Billy Gunn, Austin 316, Bret Hart's promo on when he says everything's bullshit. There's so many great promos, but my favorite promo of all time is this one, the one that's on screen. If anyone knows where this is from, shout out to you. Sunday Roast. How about those promos between Mick Foley and Ric Flair? They were great. Even like Ric Flair promos on Sting, Ric Flair promos on Ricky Steamboat in the 80s were phenomenal as well. Like his promo work against Dusty at the time as well is brilliant. Oof, roast turkey. It's been a long time though, but roast turkey, stuffing, trimmings, vegetables, gravy. brilliant. Top notch. I actually like, another one of my favourite promos is actually Chris Jericho when he says, when I originally came back it was to save us, but actually I realised that what I need saving from is you, when he says it's the audience, the fans. I thought that was brilliant. Is sweet tea a thing out there? I believe what you mean is a thing. Yes, it is. But does anyone know which promo this is? And also, I love Hollywood Rock's, the first Hollywood Rock promo in Toronto. It is actually. This is the promo where Rock loses to Brock at SummerSlam and he calls out the fans. This is never aired, but you can watch it on YouTube. And it is, Rock says, "Sing along is over. Hollywood Rock is born." And it's the last time you'll see The Rock wrestle with that head of hair. Yeah, because he's not wrong. Fans are the genuine problem. It's a great pay-per-view. I'm gonna review it again. I'm gonna do a watch along for it when we get to SummerSlam. I'm gonna do a watch along of the. I'm gonna do a like a WrestleMania watch along, like what we did last year. We did a match watch along. I might just do either a match watch along or a full pay-per-view. We can have guests a lot. It'll be fun. Oh yeah. Me too. I really wanted RVD to win. Yeah. I think some of SummerSlam was wrong. Survivor Series was better. But SummerSlam was good for what they produced that year. Underrated match of the night was Test versus Taker. There's a few chamber matches in particular we can absolutely do. That match is horrible. I hate that. I've watched that once and I've never watched that again. I refuse to watch it again. But what I will say though, we could do Chamber 2006, Survivor Series 2002, New Year's Revolution 2005 as well, SmackDown Chamber in 2008. Favorite version of The Undertaker? Easy. I'm glad you asked. This version, like that 98, starting to return into like that Lord of Darkness version of Taker, becoming the Ministry Taker. But then I'm also a big fan of this as well. Well, not the, I did like the Phantom of the Mask, but specifically like that version of 97 was great. That's what I grew up with. But Purple Gloves, this was sick. And then obviously this was a great time. These are all my favourite versions. I watched this live. This was great. I remember the week of the Benoit tragedy, I tuned in my local Spanish channel to see the Spanish Raw replay. Instead of the tribute show, they played the ECW chamber. Yeah, it was horrible. WWE destroyed ECW. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I've never watched this again, but it's mad that this was the chamber. I mean, I will never watch it again. Like, I actually physically refuse. This was a disgrace. He should have won it. And they said that it was going to happen is they were going to build to Lashley, RVD, and Punk for Mania. They really fucked this up. At least it has that sick drown and pull track for the intro. Yeah, I agree. Durag Vince was good. Durag Vince. Some things you don't want to remember, eh? God almighty. This was a good promo. This was a good segment. RVD just declaring like he's the ECW champion, and then he goes, yeah, but I like this one too. He should never have had to carry this piece of shit. I'm sorry, but if you're a wrestling fan and you like this, then I don't know how I can take you seriously. This for me is the worst thing I've ever seen. Same. I hate, like, it started really well and then they ruined it. They had great talent and then they decided to become crap. For sure. I mean, just look at that. Like, we had that ECW roster in 2006. It's mental. It was absolutely disgusting. Like, you've got Kurt Angle, Sabu, CM Punk. You've got RVD, like, it felt great. You know what, Stussy, I understand where you're coming from. I get that. I do. I just always fucking hated it. I wish it never happened. I get where you're coming from though. RVD in singlets, Lord. he always just gets them spot on. It's so cool. Just incredible. He was actually so underrated. Those were the days, eh? Yeah, they did. No idea why. It made no sense. I actually remember that segment. I felt bad for Kurt Angle just for what happened to him. He was right. He made the best choice anyway to go to TNA. His best career run was TNA anyway, so. This for me is the best version of Kurt Angle. Always will be. And he knows that because I've told him that. And he accepted it. He accepted my reasoning behind it. It took me a while to realise it was a world title. I thought it was just, yeah. You know what's mad is it looked better on someone else than him. 2 seconds. No, I actually think that belt looks better. I'm just glad that this guy got rid of it. Imagine being a wrestling fan from the Attitude Era, etc. In the start of the Ruthless Aggression era, and you see this guy holding that title, I would be sick. Like, I would be physically sick. Thank God he got rid of it. It looked good on Punk, Triple H. It did actually. I agree. It's crazy that it's the title that Cena brought in. He was the man with the second longest reign. That title suited him perfectly, but that is crazy. It did suit him really well. But I think that title suited him better. This will always be my favourite. The WWE had a lot of potential to do great things. Yes, they did. I think it's absolutely spot on. But as I leave you with, that would have been crazy. As I leave you with this visual, I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in this evening. It's been a pleasure. I will see you tomorrow. Check out the Mid Podcast, Graps TV, Covalent TV, and Princess Ales on all the platforms. And tomorrow, it's a double review and more fun along the way. In the meantime, my friends, stay safe, stay happy, subscribe to the Weekly Steelchair, tell your friends about the channel. and have a fantastic night. I'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.